Stopping in the middle of the gradual process to Israeli citizenship before reaching the end. What is important to know? Hi, my name is Joshua Pex, and at our law firm we deal with immigration to Israel. And in this video we're going to talk a little bit about stopping in the middle of the gradual process before reaching the stage when the foreigner receives permanent residency or Israeli citizenship. So in general, we need to start off by saying, what is the gradual process? Well, this is a process of between 5 and 7 years, which goes in steps. That's why it's called the gradual process, in which an Israeli that's married to a foreign citizen can give the foreigner their own status, which is either permanent residency or Israeli citizenship, as long as the couple are married or living together and reside in Israel the whole time, and there's no other problems such as security reasons or criminal or anything like that. But as long as they're living together as a family unit, the Israeli has the legal right to give the foreigner the ability to live and work here. The process, like I said, is between 5 and 7 years. It starts off with a work visa. Then the foreigner will receive temporary residency, and at the end either permanent residency or even Israeli citizenship, which will allow them dual citizenship. So this is the gradual process, but like many times life happens, right? And the couple can either separate, or divorce if they're married, or God forbid, the Israeli can also pass away during this process. In these cases, obviously this process is stopped in the middle. So what happens legally with the foreigner that's been living here for a while? Maybe they even have children that are Israeli, right? Because they're children of an Israeli parent. What happens to the foreigner? So first of all, it's important to say that the foreigner doesn't have any legal rights on their own to remain in Israel, but in certain cases, especially when there's children involved and the foreigner is the custodian of the children, or the process has been going on already for a few years, actually the criteria are that you've passed half of the gradual process, and also you're already holding at least a temporary residency status. So if these criteria are met, then either the foreigner will get legal status in Israel, or in most cases the file is transferred to the Humanitarian Committee, which we talked about in a different video, and the Humanitarian Committee decides whether the foreigner can stay in Israel based on different criteria. Like I said before, the most important is having Israeli children, and also all kinds of connections to Israel or connections to the homeland. And the Humanitarian Committee will also take into consideration all kinds of other factors and decide if the foreigner can stay in Israel or not. Let's talk a little bit about the procedure itself. We won't get into all the details, but obviously, especially when a couple separates, it can also be, when the couple is fighting, there can be problems. So once one of the couple declares to the immigration office that they've separated, they're supposed to get an official letter and be invited either together, but if they ask, they can also come separately. Each side explains that, and the clerks, the immigration clerks, will really determine that the couple have separated, and then make a decision. After the interview, everything has to be official and writing. They can't just call in, the foreigner, ask a few questions and then say, well, you've separated, now you need to leave Israel or something like that. There's a legal procedure, which a lawyer can also accompany you. There can also be appeal process, and also an appeal to the tribunal, to the Court of Appeals. So if you have any questions regarding stopping or suspending the gradual process, usually it's due to separation of the couple. It can also be because the Israeli spouse passed away, whatever the reason is. If you have any questions about stopping the gradual process before you've reached the end, you're welcome to contact us. We'd be happy to hear your case and see if we can help. Thank you for listening.